All right, guys. We are heading into game number two. Let's update that standing, the score standing, same difference here, I guess. We got ourselves amazing with the one. They had a pretty convincing game number one. Uh, the draft from Modo, I was like, I'm not sure what's going on here. To be fair, Modo is pretty certainly not making the playoffs, I'd assume, based on the standings. I'm not sure how many teams in there will be allowed in, but like even if they won it based on the current standings, they'd only hit 5 points. So that would leave Salted Snacks, who currently had 7 points, which means there's literally no way, even if they get a domination, to be in eighth place currently on this scoreboard, which may or may be out of date. But So, just a minor mishap. Accidentally left the wrong team for the draft, and so we still have a lot of people talking chat. I'm gonna discuss what happened in game one. Yeah, Moto definitely needed to engage with Cocoon, and they would have been able to do a lot more like that. Yeah, and then same thing like Stukov. It definitely synergizes a lot more with the noob, and yeah, they definitely needed some better synergy there. I I mean, even the Cocoon with a D Storm could have worked in my opinion. Like you have Arthas Law come down, have a new burrow on in, especially with Epicenter. You have the slowing stance to keep him from running away, and then you get the man mode Uther coming on in. It's like, smite them all with the hammer of ass whooping. Like I don't know, like Divine Storm is Divine Hammer of ass whooping. So we are now in the draft. Let's get on in there. I messed it up the first time. Sorry about that. Let's also throw up the poll since there's more people to weigh question. All right. So this draft is going to have the Hanzo and the Diablo band. We just for the 2+2 people in there, we got McNulty, aka Bobo, in here as well. And for starters, you'll see that Hanzo is banned out. This is I literally have just said that maybe if what McNulty said holds true, that Hanzo is now bottom tier or bottom rung hero. BOE and Cursed Hollow might be the only two maps where people still think about prioritizing him because he still is great at the race and he can still nuke down bosses. Now, whoa, we get a very early Tyrael. Maybe they're opting to do something spicy with a Tyrael sanctification and going for that Genji again. You know, instead of they're basically trying to counter out the slows if they try to get a Chromie again. Counter out the slows. Tyrael also has the holy ground to try and control positioning, and then have Genji just be able to deblade on top of him. I'm not sure. Tyrael's a really odd pick for a first pick, in my opinion. And no one picked. Well, Garrosh is on the table. He's still super strong to me. I don't think like he's been nerfed out of his mind, to be a bottom rung hero. At the same time, there's a lot of tools available to make him not as strong. Now, we got ourselves everyone saying A-MEI-ZING is winning so far. Only 3 votes, but nonetheless, that's 3 people more than Modo has in their corner. So we're going to see the old trusty Stukov. We'll see how this plays out. He's been nerfed slightly. Let's pull up the notes in case like people don't remember what was changed on Stukov, and they pick up the Sonya. I like Sonya. She's still a very solid hero all around, and on top of that, you kind of secure your solo lane. Uh, and with like the change in kind of heroes and nerfs, the pick orders are much more fluid. I feel like Stukov has been brought down a little bit. Malfurion has been brought down a little bit. So like you need to necessarily prioritize Stukov and Malfurion as highlight. Maybe not, but I still think they're probably in the top echelons of supports. So in case you don't remember what Stukov was nerfed down to, his bio kill switch was the healing was reduced from 475 to 435. His lurking arm was increased to 10 seconds from 8 seconds. Growing infestation was increased an additional second. So we've gone from a 12-second cooldown to a 15-second cooldown. One good spread has its mana reduction or mana restoration reduced from 30 to 10, and it hungers mana restoration has increased from 5 to 10. So he's not like an infinite Q spread hero at level 4 like he used to be, but I still think he'll be pretty good overall. Because all it takes is one good lurking arm to actually win your team fights. Like, lurking arm's cooldown was so long to begin with, and that you generally only had it once, and so you didn't really get it up necessarily twice in a fight, like a serious fight that was all out engaged brawl. You lock someone down at the root into the silence, and they were dead. And after that, you've won your team fight. You don't necessarily need the silence anymore. So that's why I still feel like he has a really solid place. So they're opting for Artanis in the solo lane. We literally just saw the Sonya versus Artanis solo lane with a 2+2 in Taco team, except flip sides, and we had the Artanis on the left and not the right. So we got ourselves a Li Ming in Artanis. So we're getting a Lasai's other reset hero coming on out. She also is decent at defending and even poking the mortal due to her range. Artanis is okay at racing as well. If he picks up the triple strike, he's really he's pretty good at it. Earlier, like, he can go and race, but he's not nearly as fast as someone like Avala, who's fallen so far out of the meta that it's kind of crazy. Now, they did change Sonya up, and Sonya's change is, depending on your view, either a nerf or a buff. There are buffs too, like Hurricane at level 4 was increased cooldown reduction from 1 to 2 seconds, so more spinning to win. A Shout of Fury is now at level 4 instead, which means that you can now get your autos boosted every time you Seismic Slam. Battle Rage was moved to level 7, so Merking is a lot harder. Well, harder for her, not like impossible for her, but she also loses the 10% heals. That was technically nerfed a while back too, where it was down from 3 charges to 2 charges and a bunch of other changes. Additionally, Mystical Spear has been changed, which is a nerf and a buff simultaneously. When it misses the target, it pulls you still, but now the cooldown reduction is 5 seconds instead of 2 seconds, I believe. And the trade-off, though, is that you don't have the cooldown reduction if you land it, but if you miss it, generally you still want to be able to use it, and being able to use it again faster is probably better. Now, the other side, we're going to see Phoenix in Arthas. A lot of people feel like Phoenix has been obliterated as well, and we get a call in here that AMZ is going to run Illidan. We'll see if they do, because right now they don't have a support. If they do, that'd be kind of crazy. You know, a full team without a support in Heroes of the Storm. Now, the Arthas pick is interesting. I guess there's people who are feeling like Garage has really been, you know, tossed out of the meta by 0.25 second stun change. And we have an Ana. So we're going to get an Ana with a Li Ming. This is going to be interesting. Now, we haven't seen Ana like in a serious game for a very long time. And with the nano boost on Li Ming, my god, this is going to be hella scary. So, final pickup here. We got this Dukov. We need another ranged DPS. And we're going to get the Genji. So this is going to be a kind of like this counter swap battle. Or swap. A counter reset battle. See the word swap, spoke it simultaneously. Now, the Arthas will be able to body summon Lei Ming with the Army of the Dead. However, Artanis is going to have some real difficulty getting away from Arthas. Tyrael will be able to get away, as well Junkrat, but Ana will not be able to either if she does get caught. So I'm a little worried for what we're seeing in terms of A-MEI-ZING's draft, but they do have a ton of poke. Junkrat, Li Ming, yeah, they got the poke for days. Now, the race potential is kind of mediocre on the side of Modo. Sonya is going to be okay. Genji is nothing to talk about. Phoenix is fine, but on the other side, they have what I consider a generally better draft for racing. So they're really looking to fight it out right now. Right. Button is not working for whatever reason. We'll fix that up later at another time. All right, so introducing these two teams, we got Zab Umafu on that Genji. We got Brankar on the Phoenix, Savo on the Arthas, Aman on the Stukov, Jägermeister on the Sonya, and that is going to be a Modo. On the other side, we got Kazan on the Artanis. We have a Nukes for Kids on the Tyrael, Lightnix on Ana, Lasai on Li Ming, and Envy on the Junkrat. So, taking a look at the level 1, should be nothing really crazy here. We're going to get the Toughest Nails. I'm actually surprised by the Toughest Nails a little bit, but it makes sense for the solo lane. Savo taking a ton of damage there. Zab going on in with that Genji, going to avoid most of the damage. So, trading a little bit better for them at that point. Junkrat going to be able to just poke on in with a ton of damage. We have the Frost Presence, Toughest Nails, the Swiftest Wind, Mobile Offense, and Growing Infestation. On the other side, we got the Piercing Darts, Extra Wound Timers. Interesting. He's not looking for the range. He's basically looking for the zoning out of his grenades instead. Additionally, we have the Amateur Opponent to be expected, the Power Hungry, and finally, Justice for All. Now, I'm going to close that poll simultaneously. And the final results for the poll were actually Modo taking it 5-3 in the votes. So the Power Hungry, and yeah, we got everything here. We'll see a nice knockback from Envy. Top lane is actually a winning for Kazan right now. And Jägermeister is not winning it up. However, in the bot lane, Sleep is going to be good. But Aman getting his body in the way to ensure Lasai cannot get a reset. While I was checking it, we missed that kill. But nicely done by Modo, picking up the first kill of the game. Savo will be going back, so it's almost like he died as well. Only difference is that, well, he didn't actually do so. So we're going to get Bronker sitting in here, holding the lane in the meantime, and the 3-man picking up the Bruiser camp. So you definitely want to pick up the bruiser camp at the most optimal of times, which is right before the objective and with your creep wave. If you pick them up without the creep wave, it's not going to be nearly as nice. Nice try from Envy there, trying to knock Salvo back, getting another root. Got the bush. Not going to really do anything there. The sitting in the bush. In the meantime, Salvo eating a bunch of damage. Forts have been picked up. We got the strike at the heart. We got the target acquired. And this is really nice, especially because of the fact that they have Arthas here. Really pairs nicely with that target acquired. We also got the one good spread still. Frozen Wastes. No choice yet for Sonya. Still debating it based on the change. And this Shaman Camp was actually picked up too early, but they're actually rotating up because this is a beautiful invade. They get the kill on the top. They are now looking for one more, but they pick up the Shaman Camp simultaneously. The invade there was actually a really interesting call. Like I said, this camp was picked up early. The problem was they picked it up, or well, the situation normally for most teams is that they pick it up early, it gets cleared, and nothing happens. And in this case, what they did was absolutely like, you know, a 500 IQ play. They pick it up, know that the enemy team is going to be like, oh, we free clear this. And so we're going to go and get our, you know, Shaman Camp at the same time. However, they're going to be losing this Immortal pretty handedly at this point because they had a back on off. And that's not what you want. I mean, this is... I mean, Zab is just poking it from there with his shurikens. They're like, okay. Re-engage. Salvo looking for something. Not going to get it. There's a slow. The knockback from the Immortal. This is a very heavily shielded Immortal. Should they take it? The silence. Going to get two. Lisai cannot get in very far. Has to go walk on the side. Salvo getting pretty low, however. And they will not be able to get a single kill. Despite that, Modo taking a huge Immortal. This is as beefy as they get, boys, almost. This is like 90% shield. So this was like I said, a 500 IQ play. You take the bruisers, they respond, you see that you have the man advantage, and you go and fight it. Like, I actually was too busy explaining and paying attention to that to realize what was going on by Modo. And they pick up that second camp, getting themselves this big beefy Mortal, getting themselves the wall, and they'll be able to get themselves another tower at the very least. So 7s that are being picked up. We got the Icebound Fortitude. We have nothing from Sonya yet. Zab going on in, looking for Envy, dropping some damage. He also has the dodge. Slightly odd here, I feel, but nonetheless. Salvo taking a lot of damage once again. And he is the solo tank, though, technically here. So they will have to walk on back. They almost get the fort, but they should be able to pick this up, you know, pretty shortly. They do have this 7 advantage. Not able to leverage it for much. We do have the overdose, the taste for explosions, shields, surge, tricky shuffles, the mind numbing agent. There's nothing yet for Artanis. We got Zab sitting on here, just waiting for someone to come on in, get the gank. Going to look for it. There's a swap attempt, but it's going to miss. We also have the Calamity, Dominance, this Stalwart Angel, and finally Reciprocate. Now, the interesting thing is that they have Force in and Bot. They're going to trade this out. I actually like this call from A-MEI-ZING because they know this fort is pretty much 100% down. Like, they're not going to really get much from it. Jägermeister going really deep on in here, trying to make him focus on him a little bit, although it is quite dangerous since it is a 4v1 situation. And they're going to be actually trading, like, and they're down trading, if you will, or downsizing, because they're going to be taking damage on their front wall. On the other side, you know, they opt to try and take that fort. So I like the call, but the problem is they didn't really get much out of it. Salvo going to be cut out. No root available anymore as he lands it on no one. And it will be chased on down. The orb will connect from Li Ming, but Zab on the backside just, you know, harassing him. A very nice job from his Genji as he just, like, pretty much diverts their attention 100%. The problem is now they need to get Shaman Camp, get on over here and force them off this as fast as they can. So the Immortal race is definitely right now still in their favor. They get it down to about 50%. And taking a look real fast at some of the damage numbers, we got Sonya actually sitting at the highest at this point in the game. Li-Ming and Junkrat doing quite a lot. So here's they don't quite have 10 yet. They know they have to respond to this. Jägermeister is not with them. They want the 10. If they get the tower, that'll get them 10. So they really should opt for that first. Oh, nukes for kids, though. He's going to survive. Zab looking for it. The shuriken is not going to be enough. The root does land from Salvo, though. The silence on Li-Ming. Amon, the silence monster, taking down the reset god Li-Ming. So A-MEI-ZING is no longer looking like they have a Zing. So this will be once again another immortal for the side of Modo. And now they'll also be able to get this Shaman Camp right before this immortal is taken. They need to be slightly careful. 10 is up though, so they could fight this. There's the knockback, and nukes for kids getting on it just in time. Zab not actually going to stand on it, so they lose this out. Phoenix has been obliterated. The leap has come on in, and they lose one member, all in the name of a camp they didn't even win. Riptire coming on out, chasing on in. Zab is going to escape. The flailing swipe trying to stop the bomb, but say goodbye to Amon, and that is going to be 2 for the price of 1 Shaman Camp. So, Modo overstepping their bounds there, expecting themselves to be able to, you know, take this objective for free because they have the 10 advantage. Problem is, like, Phoenix to get out of race. Oh, Zab will have his, you know, E ready to go and strike on out. So pretty much they just get the fort. They walk away. Not terrible, not the best, but not, you know, the greatest. Zab being very aggressive, pretty cheeky there. So, camp has been cleared up. Sonya is doing Sonya things. Let's take a look across the board. We had that Nano Boost, the Riptire, the Purifier Beam, the Wave of Force, and finally Sanctification. I like the positioning here from Jaeger. He knows that he's getting rotated on, backs on off as he sees no one on the map, leaving this as, you know, significantly non-worthwhile objective to try and get. Now, they're all porting back because they have to deal with the siege that has been pushed in. They're in a really good position right now because they have double forts still standing, and so like they can always trade up on the side of Modo, because anytime they try and show their face at a fort, they're like, well, do what you want. We're gonna force the situation and walk up onto your wall, and if they don't respond in kind, oh shit! There's the sleep. There's the damage onto Bronker. The swap is not going to come in time. The flailing swipe from Amon. The Riptire is on out, and it's going to hit 3 members. Savo's going to be able to survive, and they walk away. No, the swap from Kaizen is going to be enough. The leap on top onto the silence. Sanctification is going to come on out. The X strike on top of that too, but they lose 2 members for the price of getting 0 kills. Oh my god. We're going to take a look at that bad boy again. We see the root coming on out. The sleep from Lightnix was absolutely, positively crazy. We're going to see, you know, the nice body box there. And wow. They get him back. The stun from Jägermeister looked really good on top of the silence, but they back on off after the stun and get the Sanctification. Not enough damage to really, you know, stop them. So, jumping on back into the game. Okay, that's what's going on. Timers are wrong. Timers are wrong on my stuff. That is why it's switching so late. So, Riptire coming on out once again. This Immortal is super low. They'll be able to get this 100%. on the side of A-MEI-ZING as they have poke. Jaeger getting really low. Zab getting on back. Salvo sent to another dimension as he has everyone around. But the leap from Jaeger going on in the silence on top and the purification salvo. Say goodbye to A-MEI-ZING as we have 2 members taken out there. But it's a 2 for 2. That's the best that they can hope for right now. And no more resets. This is a big immortal. The good news is that their range damage is still up and they're going to be able to poke this. The bad news is they lose the Junkrat on the other side, so they don't have nearly as much poke to deal with the structure. Bronker should be able to poke this down pretty well. There's a sleep, and the sleeping darts, 16, 20... We got 143, 14 out of 20. So once these are completed, it's going to be a lot different, the game, for both teams. Because they're really game changers. I mean, for one, once you hit, the 20 double healing, it's a lot. They're only going to take down a single fort. In the bot lane, though, Jaeger needs to be careful as the entire team is rotating down on him. They know they get that fort for free. The swap, Jaeger is in for a world of pain. The Riptire already used the sleep. And they don't even need the Riptire, but they use it anyways. They take down double forts. This is now Modo's game to come back from because, well, it's a 15 versus 14. They're now going to try the same thing that Modo did, which is stealing the camp, and it's going to work out for them this time, however, for A-MEI-ZING. Now, this is a lot of pressure. They're down about a third of a level in XP, so it's not the end of the world. Next objective, they should be able to hit 16. The good news is that the wave is pushed all the way up. They'll be able to soak themselves there pretty safely. You can see wave is pushed on in all the way bottom. The problem is top wave is pushed all the way out, which means that they can't safe soak top wave. They can safe soak bot wave, however, but I don't know if that'll be enough to actually hit 16 off of in time. Now, Kaizen just playing ward. We got some Dota action here going on. Can't buy the wards, be the ward. So, top has been cleared up. 16 still not hit. They're going to have to rotate up, which they're doing, to hit 16. They will have enough time, I believe, because all they need is one wave top, I think, which will seal the deal. However, they're going to be late to the immortal race once again, which is not what they want. Their whole team fight for me is that they kill and fight the immortal as a team. They need this next wave, so they just need to collapse into it ASAP. Salvo is actually in a very dangerous place in my... Oh, never mind. Looking at the wrong immortals. But he's not actually hitting it. He should at the very least be hitting the immortal. Now, he didn't need to be doing too much. It's halftime show going on. Now, halftime show, we still have 143, 17, and 14. They really need it. So 16 versus 16 situation. This is going to be the make or break. Really going to be critical here. There's the root. Going to connect on one. And they're going to look for the alley-oop there. Salvo taking a lot of damage. There they go. The leap onto 2 members. The sanctification extract going to come out a little too late. They are sitting on in there, but they get 1, 2, and 3 members down. 4 members. Zab coming on in, and this is potentially going to be the game for Modo. Let's take a look at that once again. We got that big old juicy leap. Jägermeister saying, hit me with that Jaeger. And it's Jaeger bombs for everyone, baby. Because he comes on in there with the big, oh! And the X strike comes in a little too late, but it doesn't matter. Spinning to win. The purification comes out right after. And my God, that's all they wrote. 5 members nearly dying from that one team fight. So they get themselves a decent immortal. Like, this isn't obviously 100% immortal, but it's decent nonetheless. There we go. Working. I just need to change my times on these things, and it'll work better. All right, so that was pretty juicy. Pretty juicy indeed. So they don't have a full shielded immortal. They don't get too much more because their race isn't, the greatest. The frag spread has come on out. It's been They got really no value here. And so this is dead even overall for the teams. Shielding about to go down. They take down one turret. They need to get the second turret on down. And they'll be marching on to the first keep of the game. So Savo taking a lot of damage there. There's the one good spread. They need a good route could get this because they have everything available. The leap is only connecting on one Envy, and there Zabu is coming on in trying to join it, but the communication between both of them is not enough. The sleep dart is going to help secure it. The purification and the knockbacks, and Kaizen survives, but Savo is going to be okay. Zab gets on out with a riptire, but they get themselves the keep. Ooh. So they basically, Zab and Jägermeister need to get on point because Zab could have actually helped get that kill there. If they were like, I'm looking for the leap, get ready to go on in with, your Swift Strike, Zab would have been on top of them, and they could have even, X-striked them simultaneously, along with everything else that they had available. They're now actually looking for the invade. This is a really ballsy call. But they have now shown themselves slightly, as I think they saw what happened there. But they're actually going to give this up. Oh no, they're going to give it up for free. They have all 5 members available here. But the good news is that this is actually going to be taken, and not Modo thinking they're in the top camp. Instead, they're busy taking your girl, man. They're taking your girl. And they just walk away for free, and you didn't even say anything to them. So the good news is that there's catapults here. It'll, stop this push pretty easily. And actually, this is kind of beneficial for the side of Modo because this delays the catapults, which means more catapults will build up right behind there. And you can see Envy is busy dealing with, the catapults, and they're going to get their own bruisers. Now, they will get some counter pressure in the top lane with the siege camp. They should just go fight, in my opinion. They don't want to let them get too far ahead. Like, they'll get this cleared and go on down and fight. Now, it's almost halftime, but they're going to be coming in with the flank. We got Savo still not completed on the Frost Presence, which is used. Sleep Dart, or Piercing Darts, was completed. Frozen Waste was completed. And that's pretty much all she wrote for the quest. So it is halftime show. They do have a 1 catapult bot lane, a second coming on in. They do have the siege pressure top. So there's a lot of pressure. They will be able to start this up. They have Savo scouting it out so they can rotate on in. There's the root actually hitting nothing. That's a pretty big whiff, I gotta say. But they're going to come on in, and they will now fight this. All they need to do is, continue. If Jaeger gets another big old leap on in there. There's the pull. He does have the mystical spear, so it'll be off cooldown. Jaeger not taking that much damage, actually. Less than you'd anticipate. He does have the mirror ball. I missed the 16s there. The sharpshooter, the spread volley, the psionic wound, which is interesting. Now the core has catapults, 2 catapults to contend with. So this is really, really good from the side of Modo. Delaying this as much as possible. There's the engage. Savo's going to pop the Army of the Dead, and Riptire has been used. Going to do pretty much nothing. Do we get the leap? Leap? They're not going to need it because the root from Amon is going to be beautiful and taking out Tyrael before he can even sing. But the explosion, we got the kamikaze bomb dropping the Savo. The leap onto one Zabu, getting what we wanted from that last engagement, taking out Lightnix, but they lose the Immortal in the meantime. But it's not going to matter. They're starting to get kills. They're up to, they should have actually looked for another one there on Kaizen. I feel like the catapults are going to just get 9% on the core. They'll be able to start working on this, and yeah, not too shabby on the side of a Modo. A little bit late on the clip, but we'll see what we got there. All right, so they're going to clear this up. It's probably going to get front wall at most. They have enough damage from Bronker, and let's take a look at some of these numbers. We got 35k, 30k, and 34k. Everyone contributing pretty equally on the side of Modo. On the opposing side, Lasai with 61.7k and then 50k. It's a decent gap there, but nonetheless, it's really two damage dealers with a little bit of that, you know, Artanis damage. They save the keep, and so they still have, you know, the upper hand. 20s have just been picked up, but also look at the healing numbers. Ana doing pretty much nothing for them. 76k, 48k. It's a world of difference right now. She did finish, you know, the piercing darts, which is going to help a lot, as does the sharpshooter. You know, that really does boost up Ana's healing quite a bit. So the 20s, we're going to get anti-magic shell coming on out here, not the extra ghouls. I actually still prefer the extra ghouls because that means more bodies to block, you know, Li Ming. Although the Riptire can tear through them, reducing the effectiveness of it. So we also have the Ignore Pain coming on out. We have the Living Weapon, the Singularity Charge, and finally Controlled Chaos. On the opposing side, we have that Nano Infusion, which is going to help a lot, especially if Li Ming gets a single reset dominance, plus this Nano Fusion just means full life Li Ming. We have the Cannonball, which I feel if you're going Cannonball, Endless Nades is the superior choice as well. Now, we also got the Nexus Blades coming on out, the Repulsion, and finally Holy Arena. And if I'm Modo, I want to keep these waves kind of as far back as possible, because if you clear these waves, they're going to just push on in and be able to start clearing them in their safety of near their base. The upside of also is that you get the waves built up. You can see another catapult is coming on in, but they're actually going to push this in, force them to get back, rather than like wait for the catapults. They should have let it stay, in my opinion. You know, just let it build up the pressure. And you can actually see Zab is going to come on in, push this in just enough so that they're going to have to respond to this now. This is the time to push in. Like what Zab is doing is perfect time now. There's the defense. We got Frost finally completed, 24 minutes in the game. So this is going to be really big just because of all the damage it does. Bronker off on the side. Kaizen's going to look for that swap. Oh my, not going to happen. There's the root once again. And the damage is not going to be too much, but we get, you know, Envy showing his face. This is for a time for them to race. And we got Sabo once again, you know, just going to sit there. And now that they have, like, I mean, that beam, I guess I'm underestimating how much Phoenix alone can do, because he is helping to tear through with the plasma cutter and the repeater cannon. Now, this is once again the waiting game. They see, you know, Envy down there. They basically keep going back and forth. There's the go on in with the spear on Kaizen. Frag grenade has been used. Not going to get that much value out of it onto the enemy team. Sleep has been used. Li Ming dropping the bomb, but that's only going to nuke the shield off of Bronkar. 5 seconds later, he's going to have that up again. We also have a single catapult. Second one coming on in. It's going to start building on up. So really, this is the waiting game for Modo. They just want to like delay this as long as possible. And there's the knock on back because they want to force them to rotate. Oh, Kaizen going to be caught on out with the mystical spear. No follow up though. And the halftime show has begun. Because even if they give this up, if they can get some kills, they can march their way onto core. Sleep Dart is not going to land. We have a 1 catapult still. And they're going to clear it up as best as they can. There's the engage. Nukes for Kids is going to be able to escape. And they need to have one person poking this Immortal simultaneously. And they're opting to use Jägermeister as he's, you know, least person necessary. But they also actually have everyone up here now. They're actually racing pretty successfully with the 3. They're going to rotate down and start the full team fight, hoping they're more. Oh, there's the Rue onto Artanis. Do we have another follow-up Rue? Jägermeister coming on in. There's the Holy Arena. He has nothing but the shield coming on out. He's going to try to spin to win. Spinning, not yet winning. Savo is going to be going down the swipe. The sleep is good enough. They're going to lose this Immortal race, unfortunately, and this might actually be a base race at this point. I don't know. This is a decently shielded Immortal. The Holy Arena getting so much value. The Whirlwind coming out, you know, a few seconds too early, but it didn't even matter. After it was done, the Holy Arena, he was still spinning, and it was enough to really be winning it. So now they're going to be marching on to the front. The good news is they have catapults to help sort of defend this. The bad news is that Zab is no one here and there's nothing to be gained from him there. There's still 20 seconds. They should be able to defend this as they have Bronker. As long as Bronker doesn't get caught out here, because this is important. Tyrael did go with Heradic Reforging and the Holy Ground, so you don't want to see him get caught out. There's the swap. Not going to matter. Not the best person to swap on out. And this is still a full health immortal. We will have everyone available, and this could be potentially game. They're going to fight this out, or are they going to back off? This is going to be critical. They're going to do as much as they can. There comes the Riptire. Riptire not going to do much of anything. Jägermeister in the back. The knockback. The sleep. But he's been rooted in place. Envy. There's the spinning. There's the winning, potentially. The Immortal, though, has taken it down to 50%. 45%. Sonya is down. There's the resets. There's the slap. Amon is going to stay on up. Zab, trying to do his best, is trying to take out Junkrat. This is 15%, 10% on the core. And that's going to be all she wrote. A-MEI-ZING has made the amazing comeback from this game, and they fight down that keep through a lot of that game, and they have done it. They take themselves a domination. There's not really a throw on the side of Savo in terms of that immortal that they lost. It was more so the engage in the sanctification. That sanctification with Holy Arena was too good. I mean, that's 25% more damage they had to deal with. And yeah, they killed the Sonya, and Sonya spending to win. And another thing, as Chad has pointed out, they rotated down to defend instead of racing. They should have just stayed and raced at that point, because if they raced and lost, they would have had all 5 up. If they did what they did, they tried to defend, lost 2, and still lost the Immortal, which was the worst of all the worlds. And they would have catapults. They'd maybe lose the keep there, and at worst, like, it evens up the game. So taking a look at the stats, we had 84k, 71k, 50k. Just like insane amount of DPS. And I think part of what really helped them was the healing numbers started to close once Ana actually got her piercing darts completed. This is almost like the problem with Ana right now, is that piercing darts is pretty much required to play Ana. They basically need to rework Ana to have some sort of like built-in piercing dart where they say, okay, she heals 2 targets all the time, and the second target gets healed for, I don't know, 50% of the healing, and just put that baseline in her kit. You can still leave like piercing dart for the rest of it and say like, hit 20 heroes and it's now 100%. And I feel like that's how you improve Ana at that point. And the 20s are just really powerful. Cannonball, more people hit. Nexus Blades, so got Artanis dishing out some serious damage, especially with that psionic wound. Then the repulsion, knocking people all over the place, on top of the fact they have a Junkrat. And yeah, Holy Arena. The 20s on the side of A-MEI-ZING just looked better in general, in my opinion. You had that anti-magic shell, ignore pain, living weapon, singularity charge, control chaos. But outside of control chaos, I don't feel like they have anything that's insane. Singularity charge is technically the best thing for racing. They could have just stayed there with singularity charge now and raced out that immortal, especially with plasma cutter. But the rest of this isn't fantastic. That's also why I felt Army of Northrend, the Legion, whatever the upgraded 20 is. All was, I feel like it wasn't optimal necessarily. Anti-magic shell, obviously there was, it heals him and makes him immune, but at the same time with that army, you're able to heal for longer, have more goals, help body, any Li Ming DPS that she does do with her orb and magic missiles. And one other big problem was that Frost Presence took forever for Savo to complete. like 24 minutes, 21 minutes into the game was when he finally completed this. You need to get that completed significantly earlier, something at least like by level 16 optimally, you know, uh, because they have double routes: Remorseless Winter, the route. You have the Biting Cold, you have Frozen Waste, like so much slow and so much control. Now the leaps were pretty nice. The problem was had in that last engagement, like I said, the Holy Arena just staying up for that extra second of putting it at 4 seconds just really made that team fight go in their favor too. So now that's it for this series. Let's